Boom.
Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact. I got the Bad Boys here with me, and we're here for 3 count. We got 3 great stories that we just pulled off the internet, and we're going to see what our take is on that and see if you agree or disagree. How about from our first one, the HollywoodReporter.com. It's titled, WWE Headed to Trial for Copying Wrestlers' Tattoos for Video Games. So let me read a little bit about this. In 2009, Catherine Alexander heard a rumor. The tattoo artist was told that WWE was about to introduce a new consumer product, fake sleeves to be worn by those pretending to be their favorite wrestler. She contacted WWE legal department, and after introducing herself as WWE superstar Randy Orton's tattoo artist, she said she was willing to negotiate for any reproductions of her work. Quote, the person laughed at me and said I had no grounds and they could do what they want with his images, end quote. She testified at the deposition. Quote, he is their wrestler, end quote. Now, the WWE isn't laughing anymore because this past weekend, or say last weekend, an Illinois federal judge handed her partial summary judgment by determining that WWE and Take-Two Interactive Software, the publisher for the WWE 2K series of video games, had indeed copied her work. Now, the question for a jury is whether that rises to copyright infringement. And that's the question, fellas, for you this evening, who read this up and down, who even read the 13 pages of the ruling. Tell us, fellas, what do you think? Do you happen to believe that this is rise to copyright infringement? Let's hear it.
I don't think that it's right to copyright infringement, but what I do think that this could be considered would be fair use. And I think that this is something that rages on in all sectors of the internet, especially with content creation and people that are either, forming an opinion on something or putting something out for the general populace. It comes down to this will always be something that's contested because fair use versus copyright is something that there's such a gray area involved. I don't think that things like this will ever be one way and then always that way. This is something that will be a contested ruling regardless.
Okay.
I think as far back as you go, I mean, you've seen this. The one thing that she could have had maybe a leg to stand on is the merchandise that they were selling, but the likeness of the character has been used in video games, throughout the ages. So I don't think that she'll end up winning this one. I mean, I think quite frankly, this is the way business has always been done.
Okay.
I think it's interesting because if you kind of look at it, it is something to consider. Do I think that she'll win her case? Probably not. I'm just going to be honest in my opinion. I don't think she'll win. But I do think for the future, I think a lot of people are going to consider that just in general. If I'm creating something, could it be later used? And could I get paid for it? So I think it's going to definitely affect future going forward, but she's not going to win.
Not only that, but I mean, it wasn't like she created an original design. This was like
it's only like a skull. It was like a skull. It was like,
if that's the case, if you award this person, what you're really saying then is you got to go back and reward all these tattoo artists,
Exactly.
For their work. So it gets thrown out.
Well, okay.
She'll get comp tickets and level 400 to the next.
Pretty much.
Well, I will say this, and then I come over to you, Matt Michaels. It did say, though, at the same time, last March, that Take-Two beat a copyright suit by a company that claimed to own the tattoo designs featured on the bodies of the NBA stars LeBron James, Kenyon Martin, and Eric Bledsoe. So, you know, do you think it's still not possible for her to get a win out of this?
No.
She ain't got no money. She ain't got no good lawyer.
Well, but you just said it. She ain't got money. Why are you suing? Because you ain't got money. All right? It's a fucking, you're a tattoo artist. You're not fucking painting something that you're privately selling. You're tattooing it on a guy who you well know is a fucking TV personality who also has had his images in games before. So you either set it up to take advantage of that and try suing them, or you know that your art's going to be seen by many people, and basically you get business because of that. Otherwise, fuck off. This is stupid. You know, what the fuck? Listen, the Brahma Bull is one of the most fucking iconic images in wrestling, and that tattoo has been featured in games going fucking all the way back to the fucking beginning of the Attitude Era. All right, has that guy ever or woman ever come out and said, you know what, that's my tattoo art? No. This is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking someone trying to make money. That's it. Put it to bed. See you next week.
She is, Matt Michaels, she is an artist.
Fuck that. She knows that she's fucking doing artwork on a guy who's in video games. Fuck it. She should know better. She can't win that shit. You shouldn't try to win that shit. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
A very strong case. He's saying it 100% what it is. I mean, it's like us. If, let's say, our show, we use something that an artist came up with that was tattooed on one of our bodies. Like, what?
Don't say nothing that's going to get us in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get us in trouble. I'm saying in the sense, let's just say Simon Street lost his fucking mind way worse than normally does and puts a whole side face tattoo, Vegas Bad Boyz of podcasting, right? Okay, and I get a tattoo on my face. It's showcased on the show. You can see it on my face. And then that tattoo artist says, well, I did the tattoo. Get the fuck out of here. And that's why I agree with Michael.
If that tattoo artist wants fucking money from us, then he's a fucking idiot, and you're even more of an idiot for getting a fucking tattoo on your face.
Isn't anybody that puts a tattoo on their face or neck kind of, I'm just wondering.
Yeah. You got to get a fake tattoo coming up.
That's a fake tattoo. I can take that motherfucker off.
It's as simple as this. What other artwork has this woman done on famous people? Has she? If she hasn't, then you know what? You're out for the money. That's it.
All right, let me ask.
Or did she take advantage of it? Because that's why I heard Michael said, like, did she was smart when she was doing these tattoos on Randy Orton? And I know most tattoo artists, they have a folder that shows their previous work and say, hey, I did Randy Orton's tattoo. I mean, wouldn't she have gotten a lot of work after that if she properly showcased that I work on tattoos for Randy Orton?
Yeah.
You would think, yeah. It's probably got to be on her Instagram.
Yeah. Free advertising.
Same.
Free promotion.
Maybe Randy Orton should sue her ass for that.
So then let me ask you guys this then. So, all of you guys are saying, this is ridiculous and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Why then would a federal judge hand her partial summary judgment determining that both WWE and Take-Two, had indeed copied her work? Why would a judge do that if it's bullshit? Why would they even go through this process?
In Illinois. They tried. No, seriously.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Because the example in the article about the NBA thing, that was tried in New York. All right. They lost. They couldn't prove that, the NBA players' tattoos were theirs. So the artist didn't get the money. So you go to a different district. All right. This woman's not stupid. She didn't hire lawyers, or she's from Illinois. All right. But most likely they found the district that would take the case. That's what you do. All right. And then you have it in front of a judge, and federal judges, it's not like they're the Supreme Court. So basically they'll go through this process, it will go to trial. And as soon as the trial ends with her winning or losing, it's going to get appealed. So yeah, that's all this is. It's a
You don't have
game.
enough money to fight it either.
Yeah, exactly. Unless she's a successful tattoo artist who's done it on other people.
Wrapped up in litigation.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's a never-ending fight.
Well,
you know who really needs to? Cody Rhodes needs to sue his tattoo artist for letting that be seen on national TV.
No lies detected.
I just want to know what he was drinking.
all right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. We'll find out and see what happens. This artist was like, look, this is my work. Everybody ran off and took it. I deserve to be compensated for it. But you guys are saying, hell no, you don't. Get out of here.
But here's the thing. It was her work, but it was his body. And who does he work for? And who does he actually probably have a document that signed that anything that is Randy Orton related, they own?
No.
Including his name.
And his
Like we discussed in previous episodes. Continuity.
Mhm.
Right.
They about to take them Twitch accounts too.
Yep.
All right. Well, look, let's then go over to our second count. This should be something that I thought will make Steve just let loose everywhere on King Lucky's
Hello.
On King Lucky's what?
screen, on his screen.
You
Oh.
Yeah.
stop.
So Variety. Variety.com had a title that AEW continues to grow 1 year after launch of Dynamite on TNT. And the question
Wait, before you even ask the question,
sure.
can I say what a brilliant headline that was by Variety? Business continues to grow during the end of first year. I would hope that it's only been a year that the business would continue to grow. Because if it didn't, you'd be in big fucking trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So ask the question now that the stupid title's out of the way. Thank you, Variety.
Of course, it just goes through talking about the beginning of when it started 1 year ago. The question I want to ask you, though, for each one of you, and we can start from Sin City. Do you believe, though, that since AEW started to right now, do you see that this company has been very successful on all levels that they were planning on being on when they started this particular business? And is it going to continue to grow? What's your idea with that?
On all levels, no. I think that there have been a couple of missteps, but all told, they've already secured a new TV deal, which at the end of the day is the biggest barometer of what is successful. When you are
but that guy who gave it to him got fired after he did it. So.
Well, hey, I mean, shit happens.
Maybe we should talk about that right there.
Might be a good call. But no, I mean, there were reports that Turner was looking at expanding the AEW profile and adding more hours of AEW programming to their family of networks, which I think that speaks volumes for not just how the company itself is doing, but also how much faith their TV provider or TV contract deal has in their product. So I think that there's no doubt that this company is going to continue to grow. To think otherwise is foolish, especially when you have the guaranteed deals rolling in and the money that is going to the cons on top of what they already have. They're solid for quite some time. I think that they could improve on a couple of things, but keep in mind we are just now starting to see the end, if you will, of the measures that were put into place for the pandemic. So we just got done dealing with a global event that crippled the economies and stifled innovation.
Hey, hold on, time out. Let's
What?
not use that word. We got done dealing with.
No, I said hopefully we are coming toward the end of it. I'm being optimistic with it. Okay.
The words made it sound like it's over.
No, it's definitely not over.
Okay.
It's definitely not over. And to think otherwise, honestly, is foolish as well. This is something that the phrase has been thrown out there. We're in this together, and that's somewhat of a corny phrase, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's the fucking truth. Mm-hmm. So we're coming out of this, and hopefully, we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I'll go over to you, King Lucky. I mean, it's been 1 year. I mean, would you call AEW successful?
Smashing success. I will say that, while they've been very successful, as Steve pointed out, they just did a new deal. Whether that guy got fired or not, that signed the deal. There's a deal, for an extension, right?
Well, okay, hold on. Let me stop you guys right there. I just find that interesting that if the guy got fired and you guys look at it, well, the deal was signed, so it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is he done something maybe he wasn't supposed to do.
Hey, but you know what?
So maybe the whole idea of this success is not really what it is. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you this question. What makes
wow?
Hold on.
So you're just torpedoing AEW.
I'm
brother, you are burying an entire company right now.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that if he did something wrong, what apparently it seems like he did, because if you're successful, it would not have been an issue.
Well,
right?
We don't know.
But what makes you think he got fired in direct correlation to the new extension TV deal? I mean, it could have been something else.
Because they reorganized right after that deal.
Okay. So it's clear that he was fired because of this deal, or he was gone because of this deal.
Let's put it this way: the deal was signed, and then weeks later, he was gone. The truth of the matter is that without him there to protect it now, that at any point that show can be canceled. So they have to do good now.
Well, here's the thing. Looking at this past year, right, you're starting to see more of an integration of AEW into like TNT programming and advertising. Mm-hmm. So they're doubling down on whatever investment they initially made. So I think that shows a positive sign.
Or it's a negative sign.
Well, it could be.
Because if you're investing more money into your advertising than you were early on, well, when you launch a show, that's when you're going to put the most fucking money into it, right? Now, if they're putting more money into it, if they're trying to get more, that means they're not meeting what their expectations were of the actual product.
Or you could be bullish in the beginning, not invest anything because you're like, oh, this is wrestling, so who knows?
They weren't going to do that. They were not going to do that. Okay, first of all, what fucking person in their right mind goes, here's a contract. Oh, it's just wrestling. Fuck that. You're wrong right there. You're only going back to WCW when the fucking product was already established for 20 years before fucking Turner, had to go and rebrand it, just to keep wrestling on his fucking network, dude. Don't fucking make it. Don't make it.
Tony Khan, who had relationships. So, moving on from that, I think the biggest thing, when you look at AEW, maybe some things that they kind of fell short on was like their women's division. they've finally started to make good on that, you know, because it was one of the weak parts. Yes.
Well,
You're huffing and puffing. I just want to see where you want to go with it.
so now your success is based on the women's division.
No, I've said that they've had a lot of success, but one of their downsides was the women's division.
And I'm saying, how much more is their women's division going to perk up their companies overall?
I think, no.
God, no.
Part of also, I'd like to see them, one of the things I'd like to see them do is create new stars, because they have tons of ex WWE wrestlers, or, you know, people that, you know, were already known, but creating their own stars will be the true test.
So the problem with that, we can all agree to the sun, you know, sets that the way they should be going is developing new talent. We've argued this for over a year. They're still not doing it to the point where we believe they should be. One of the reasons is because they have a television deal and they work with the television company who's highly invested in this company. So therefore, the executives want names. They want people who've been on WWE TV, because those are the names. Those are recognizable products to people who might not know that they're no longer with the WWE. And as you're flipping through, you go, wait, what the hell is this? Who's that guy? I thought he was on the other. What is this? That's what you're trying to do with that. So the problem is that they want established fucking names. So this was my problem with the potential of networks getting involved. We can go off of this whole concept of, you know, it's fine and dandy and gosh darn it, man, we're going out there and we're making the wrestling world proud, and boy, oh boy. And the fact of the matter is at any moment, TNT can go, you know what? We saw that we gave you a huge fucking push through the NBA finals, and it's not going to happen this year. It might not even happen next year, but it could happen about 3 years down the road, where if those are not hitting where they believe it should be hitting, and they've done all this promotion, etc., then they got to pull the plug on it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me jump right over to you. Simon Street is 1 year in. You call it successful?
Well, first of all, maybe it's just me when I say that if you're still around after 1 year, you at least have gained some success of just still being there. So let's just say that first and foremost. One thing that I will say, which is interesting, is about a year ago, maybe a little bit before that, you know, we were really looking to see what is where we are now going to look like. I think the first episode of Dynamite was April 14th, not mistaken, or something. No, I'm sorry, October 14th. I'm sorry, yeah. October 14th. Somewhere around there was the first episode. And so now we're coming up on almost a year from the date, almost. I think that AEW has done quite well considering the situation of the pandemic. However, I do think that there's a lesson to be learned with AEW, very much in how we all were with our own parents. Our parents would tell us a long time ago, it's probably not going to work the way you think it is. Here's what to expect. And as we're young bucks, we're all like, nah, things are going to be different. I'm going to do this, and this. And so the reason why I bring up that analogy is, you know, WWE, for all of its problems that it has, they knew how to navigate with TV deals. They knew how to navigate. And I feel like that, to me, when I look at AEW, that's kind of successful, how they're still trying to navigate through that. I think they know that they can't build new stars because the network is basically requesting that they have these known names. I'm going to be confident to say that they have been successful. I think we're going to see them around much longer, because I think the one thing they have proven is that they can play. And I'm saying that from a fan's perspective. I'm not going to put numbers, crunch numbers and quarterly reports, and I'm not doing none of that. I'm just going to say that they said they were going to come play. They are playing. They're competitive. Yes, they have a lot of things they need to work on, and it's not just the women's division. And I think that they are dedicated to doing that. I've seen some adjustments just in the last 3 to 4 months And I think we've all seen that. And again, that speaks volumes of the heart that they have. And I believe the article stated that as well, that they have the heart to stick around. And I think that if they can have that heart, that determination, that grit, and have people in their ear who probably used to work for WWE, who knows how to navigate, with TV deals to get where they want to get. So I think they have been successful, to answer your question.
Matt Michaels, AEW, has it been successful?
It's been a running company.
Mhm.
That's the best thing you can say about a business that comes out of nowhere. It's running.
Mhm.
Okay. Are they going to be successful? Could be. Also, what is the determination of success?
Mhm.
It's the other thing. We don't know what the expectations on them are. But one of the things that they've done, I think, very, I don't want to say stupidly, but they've tried to do everything that the WWE basically has short of the actual network, right?
Mhm.
One of the big examples is the toy deal. The toy deal was supposed to be fucking this huge launch, this line. And you go to any Walmart right now, and most likely there is a fucking display that just has figures sitting there. And this is the problem, I think, in general with the company. You're selling those figures for about $20 a shot, I think, something like that.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to drop that down.
They
So
don't look great either.
Drop it down to 12.
that, so and you know what? For Lucky to say that is
Big.
he was really excited when those,
I was.
prototypes, and that's a very interesting problem that they have, because you specifically marketed these toys at a price that is meant for people our age, okay? Collectors, people who have the income to put it out there. But you're now shooting your foot with the actual market you should be getting, and that is, you're a new company. Go after those fucking kids. Market it towards the kids. Get them to buy it. Put your prices down. You don't need the collectors, because you know what? Yeah, exactly. $10. There you go. You want to outsell the WWE? You sell them for $8. And one of the biggest things, really quick, one of the biggest things is that you could tell that initially, when those were released, they got snatched up very quickly by guys who turned around and sold them on eBay for fucking ridiculous amounts of money. So their theory also backfired. You got the initial sell, but the only reason it got sold is because people knew if they buy them all up and then they turn around, they could profit off of it. So in essence, now you're asking a fan who really wanted a Chris Jericho figure to end up paying $40 or $50 on eBay.
Right.
And that might be for his fucking kid. That's what sucks. And that's relative to the problem they're having.
Not
You
only,
want to build those new fans.
yeah, not
Right.
only that, I've been to multiple stores, since the launch. And quite frankly, I haven't seen them at, any of the stores out here in Vegas. I mean, I've ran into maybe 2 or 3, and I'm an avid, toy collector, especially if the figures look good. They didn't impress me at all. But to your point, there was a whole bunch of them in one store that was just sitting there collecting dust.
Well, I would also say this too that I find interesting now that you mention it. So they came out and you maybe heard about it for 2 weeks and that was it. I rarely see any commercials showing these figures. When WWE would do it, you see the kids playing, the adults playing with the ring and acting like they're there. You don't see any of that happening on their side, almost to the point that it's non-existent.
Randy's the only one that promotes it.
So that's a good point, man, Mike. I didn't even think about that. But I mean, yeah, man, it's to put so much value in that, and now it's kind of like it's not even, yeah.
You better refocus. Christmas is coming, baby.
Christmas is here.
I do have to read a comment from the chat. And this comes from Shant, and he asks DJ. He asks you a question.
Oh, I didn't see that. Let me see.
He says, "Why does DJ have so much hate on AEW?"
Easy.
DJ, don't be a Russo.
Mm-hmm.
A Russo. Listen, my job as the host is to get conversation going there, Shan.
Oh shit! Oh shit! You treat
Hey,
The thing is,
now would be the opportunity to mute Impact for the only time ever.
Yes. Yes.
I'm doing something worse to him. Go ahead, keep talking, DJ.
Oh, that was it.
Keep talking, DJ.
Oh, you want to mute me?
No, keep talking.
Again, that is the reason why.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you.
But listen,
The thing is, that's your mute.
Hey,
You're the moderator, so you get it to worse.
Right.
Hey, Shan, I just want to say, this is how Impact is with all sports teams. He picks and chooses who he likes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, also, I think if you look at
all I'm saying, because I picked the article for a reason. I mean, Variety says, look, they are a successful company in a year, and all I'm asking is, have they been that? And I'm just curious if everyone believed that is the case. But I do find interesting, which I didn't know before bringing up this article, that somebody was let go due to a decision. When I hear that, I go, well, wait a minute. Why would that happen? Now, other than that, listen, I've been to AEW shows. I got an AEW shirt. I watch AEW on TV. So it's not like I sit and just shit on it. Okay.
Dark.
Because I got a job, King Lucky, and I already have to watch like 10 wrestling. I already got 10 wrestling shows I already got to watch, and to add another one, I just don't have all that time.
Yeah.
But listen, but the bottom line is that I'm just curious with all of you, again, do you really, is that what you feel about the organization overall with AEW?
AEW has been a smashing success with people like Shant.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
And if they want to continue with that being their fan base, and that is, males who are anywhere between,
30
to 50.
Yeah.
And I know they're doing the younger demo, but at the same time, the core of their group are people in that age range. And if you don't draw in a lot more of that younger group and people who don't necessarily watch wrestling, then you're going to have problems.
You know what type of fans those are? The same fans that said John Cena sucks. So now they have an alternative.
Yep. That's exactly what
But I will
is.
tell you, lastly, just to drop a bow on this whole thing, they've been successful, but the fucking rankings haven't been.
No.
With the what?
I've said from the beginning the rankings wouldn't mean shit, and they haven't.
Like the contender rankings?
Yeah. They really tried to go in, and I give them props for really trying to go in on them with showing them on their Instagram, showing them on their website, talking about the show. But I no, I'm gonna be honest, because I was someone I thought it would be cool if they would go in properly on the rankings. You're right, King Lucky. It has gone exactly nowhere.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel, baby. You're right. Good TV, good stories. Give me some steak, give me some sizzle. That's it.
But they'll still pivot and do better.
Yeah. Why not? When they cut the rankings out.
the fact of the matter is that when you're writing a show that your audience knows is scripted, unless it's little kids who don't know that Santa Claus scenario, okay, then what's the point of that outside of trying to impress those New Japan fans?
Right.
You know what? I will say this. If let's just say in another year AEW doesn't make it, they pull the plug, I will be sad to see it go. I'll be honest and say that. For whatever anybody wants to analyze that, I would be sad. I know there'd be a lot of other people feel the same way.
Well, even if
No one wants to see it go.
Right.
yeah, no one wants to see it go. Not only that, but even if they pull the plug, they'll pick up a deal somewhere else. That's just the simple fact of
Well,
As long as it's not Access TV, because
Wait.
that'll kill it.
here's the problem with that you're assuming that what we just said before, you brought up the being looked at it as wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So if they're not successful with this, if TNT doesn't feel they're successful, why in blue hell would any other network, and I'm talking an actual network, not being picked up on Access or something like that, right?
Hey,
I'm talking an actual viable network that has a history. Why would they ever touch the product?
It's a lot to chew. It's a lot to chew. As a company, as a network, you'd have to be very ambitious, even as TNT was to take on AEW. It's a lot.
The scenario is more important that they are successful enough to keep running, to entice another network to invest in another company.
yeah.
Right? That's how things grow then, is fair competition. That's what happened with ECW. But at the same time, the problem is that ECW was confined by the network, right? They signed a horrible deal. It was bad for them. And WCW was, losing that fan base because WWE was offering an alternative product. So in that case, it really destroyed, it ended up destroying, if you look at it, the Monday Night Wars ended up destroying and putting the WWE as the only company for years. And now this is this should be started by a base of people who want to be alternative to the actual product that is the only product out there that's on a national scale, or on a big TV network deal. But they have to maintain a growth. And if they maintain a continuous growth, then advertisers, especially if they keep doing good numbers on the 18 to 49, advertisers will keep paying.
Yeah.
That's what keeps them in business.
Bertrand Pritchard.
What you have to do as a company is you have to then build your stars.
I mean, and it's interesting you say that age demographic. I just see just in general wrestling, in general, whether it's WWE or AEW, I see that being a challenge. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys make fun of me because I hang out with high school kids, which is not the case, but a lot of them really don't watch wrestling like we did. And that's something to really honestly look at for them. And I'll be honest with you, just my opinion, I think it's because the format of the way it is works for us because it can hold our attention. I honestly think the biggest problem with wrestling, the reason why it's not hitting that age demographic is because these kids like it fast. They like that TikTok fast. They like that quick snippets of videos fast. And until wrestling as just entertainment, pro wrestling finds a way to slice up that pie for that younger age demographic, it's always going to be a struggle. But, you never know where there's a challenge. There's innovation. Hopefully somebody will come up with the sauce.
Bertrand Pritchard. Okay, let's go to our Let's go. To
I was wondering what the hell you were doing.
I know, I thought
you did that.
saying too.
I thought you were coughing or some shit. I'm like,
And, okay, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
So
it does.
nice
It
job.
does.
Oh,
Good job, Impact. Good job.
Thank you. All right. Our third count for tonight, ringsidenews.com. All right. Marty Janetty admits to burning body after murdering man when he was a teenager. The story goes like this. Marty Janetty made headlines when he confessed to killing a man when he was a teenager. The man he killed was allegedly trying to rape him. He backed off that story and said that it was a pro wrestling angle. But now Marty Janetty has new details to share. While speaking to Hannibal TV, Marty Janetty was asked about the murder confession. He explained that things got real when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation contacted him. So he had to tell them that it was a pro wrestling storyline. Then he proceeded to paint a picture that didn't seem like a storyline at all.
Can
King
I just?
Lucky, you seem like I'm gonna go to you, Simon. King Lucky look like he's just like I can't deal with it.
It's so fucking.
Look. I'm gonna say it like this.
Why is he grabbing
Ass
for?
mess.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Why is he grabbing for this attention right now?
Yes.
Like this is so fucking idiotic that he's bringing this out. Like I don't know.
Hot mess.
Should the GBI ask him where is the burned
Absolutely.
bones bodies?
They should. Unsolved mystery. Fuck that guy.
He never was right. He never was right.
I
I think we all knew that. He never was really right. Even as a rocker, we knew he wasn't all up there.
His brain was knocked loose after he got kicked and put to the glass.
Okay.
Well, this incident happened before he was kicked through the barbershop.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask y'all this. I mean, I don't know. Raise of hand. No. We have to use words here. Does there anybody here believe what he's saying? Give me a hell yeah.
That's a horrible way to confirm it.
Hell yeah.
If someone was raped and then lit on fire. I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's
Well,
hell no.
Well, but okay. So,
Hell no.
okay, all right. So nobody believes it, but how do you know it didn't happen? Why are we calling him to say he's crazy and he's not taking what he's saying to be true?
So let's just start with the fact that this apparently happened when he was 13.
Correct.
So 13-year-old Marty Janetty just happens to grab a brick, or as it
Put it.
Piece of
morphed into is a cinder block,
Yeah.
hits the guy with
Yeah.
this, and immediately kills him.
The temple.
Yeah.
One hit,
Right there. He died
Yeah.
right
he's
there.
immediately dead.
He didn't know
13.
that it was going to do that.
Yeah, well, no one knows that it's going to actually do that because it doesn't fucking actually do that because you're 13 years old. First of all, are you really bringing up a cinder block, cocking it back, and hitting someone with it? Second of all, you have the strength to pick up the cinder block by yourself, but you need your cousin to help you carry the body. That was the next part of this story. Then they cut up the body. They
At 13.
they cut up the body and then they burn it, but it all isn't burning. So now they have to bury it, which they could have just buried the fucking body because 13-year-olds who are not social psychopaths do not think, well, boy, you know what we should do? Cut them up and then burn them. You don't think like that. And then finally, if you were 13 years old when this happened, you're telling the Bureau that it's just a wrestling storyline. And by the way, I haven't been in pro wrestling as an active wrestler for, I don't know, probably over a decade. And oh yeah, I was 13 when this happened, which obviously I was wrestling.
Matt, listen. Okay. This is what he said. Listen.
And how dare he? Wait, if by God, you know what? If that woman would have just had a tattoo done, she could have put a tattoo on him, and then she could have sued him for likeness infringement too.
He says, this is what sticks to me. A 13-year-old boy was getting raped, and you're mad at him. When it comes down to it, people just want to make people feel better about themselves. He said the problem is that whether the murder happened or not, it doesn't matter because all people want to do is put him down.
Okay, can hold on. No, and when I read this in the article, I was thinking to myself, who in their right monkey-loving mind would say it like that if you wasn't trying to get attention? Like if I'm confessing to a murder, whether or not I knew I got raped or was about to get raped and I had a legitimate reason to try to kill somebody, I would not be putting a spin on it like that. I would have just came out with the story and be like, look, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going to happen.
But maybe you guys
couldn't be clear.
But maybe you guys are looking at it too logically. If he's really not fully there, and he might not really be there, but there could be still some truth to it. Does that make the story not nowhere being true at all? Just because it's not logically put succinct the way that we think it should be laid out.
Well, it has to be taken seriously because we're talking about someone claiming that they took a life, got their cousin to chop it up, burn it up, whatever the hell they did to it. So they have to take it seriously. But the biggest question is when they find out that it's all made up, why?
He's the victim. You're absolutely right. He's the victim. Why are people mad at me? Well, because first of all, if you're afraid to go to the cops, okay, understandable. But you are saying that basically what you're saying is, okay, well, you guys are mad at me, but I did what anyone else would do in self-defense if I was in that position. However, after doing it in self-defense, which is a legal protection I have to protect myself from, being physically harmed, then I decided, no, I murdered him. So now, instead of calling the police and say, this is what happened, I in a panic, I don't know what happened, I'm so sorry, but this guy was trying to do this to me, blah, blah, blah. No, you decide to fucking chop up the body and burn it because, again, any sane 13-year-old knows that chopping up a body and burning it, it's like, dude, even at that time, when he was 13, think about this. It was not an everyday news occurrence where you see about people chopping up bodies and burning them or disposing of them. That shit was done hush hush, right? But if you're 13, you get that idea, I don't see how it pops in his head. And he's also been able to keep this with him for 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, this hasn't eaten at him. In fact, the idea that he was potentially raped wasn't something that put him even into, take out the murder aspect of it, put you into therapy when you're at some point in your life. No, it's Marty fucking Janetty. There's a reason Sean is the successful of the two.
Let's talk Vegas Bad Boy business here live in front of the world. Would you be okay if we go after Marty Janetty for an interview so we can get him on? You guys would be all right with that? Yeah?
I'm cool with it because I want to ask him. I'm like, man, I need to know, bro.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
We're going to reach out to him and we're going to see if he's willing to come on so we can have this discussion.
When we do it, we give him the background that's a barbershop. I said it.
Okay.
Well, I'd rather give him a burning fire.
That's all.
Jesus. So I think that this is as good of a time as any for me to, make this into a cuttable kind of a scene. Impact, you'll put some sort of a I don't want to say celebratory, but kind of like upbeat, kind of like PSA music.
Okay. Yeah. I see that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do meth. Thank you.
Sounds good to me. The more you know.
Boom, 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 boom. Seriously, like this guy, what the actual fuck? Okay, so obviously we've cut a lot of jokes. We've talked a lot of shit about him. Now let's be serious.
Mhm.
He definitely has some mental health issues. I think that if nothing else, we can form that opinion. At the end of the day, mental health is not something that should be made fun of. But at the end of the day, it's something that should be treated as well. And Marty is the only person that will actually be able to get himself the treatment that he needs. So let's just hope that he actually does that shit and doesn't go on Facebook posting shit like it's 1986, according to Shant in the chat. Yeah.
Chad been on a roll.
He has,
today,
man.
He's been on a roll.
But yeah,
Wow.
he just needs to get some help at this point.
He does. And with what Steve was saying, I mean, the accusations that he's making or how that story went is something that's scary. For a 13-year-old in general, if you were put in that situation, unless it wasn't your first time being put in a situation, I can assume he would be in shock. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if, let's say, he defended himself, picked up a cinder block, adrenaline was pumping, hit him over the head. Like Michaels was saying, at that point, your mind, even at 18, don't chop somebody up and light them on fire.
Wait. And now something, as you said, that just hit me too.
Mhm.
There's been no indication from what I could see in that article for sure of where this took place. And I think he might have said something and when he first brought this up, a couple weeks ago when not enough people paid attention. So he was going to bring it back up. Where the hell did this happen?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was this at a bar? Because initially it sounded like, well, maybe this was at a bar and a guy was like hitting on him or something. And then, because the way he came out with it initially sounded like he came out and he basically said, I murdered a gay man who wanted to rape me, or something to that extent. Now, if you think about it, well, if he was 13,
couldn't be in a bar.
Couldn't have been in a bar.
It's just like none of this shit's adding up. What I see though is this. Mr. Scorsese, if you are listening tonight, this needs to be your next fucking film. All right. The beginning starts where you see him, you hear Sean saying the words to him, and then Sean, you see the super kick hit him and it freezes. And that's when Marty goes into the voiceover about, my life was going great until this. And then we get a great gritty fucking film about the life of Marty Janetty and in the underworld of his, existence and, how he just fought through all this adversity. And then, of course, that leads us to the final scene where the helicopters are flying overhead and he's running around with the Coke in his fucking car. Girlfriend who's got the fucking, the baby full of, Coke and all that shit. Yeah.
Full of Coke,
dude. The baby full of Coke. Him and a baby doing Coke. Okay. And it was fucking fabulous. Okay. And the baby was driving. The baby was driving the fucking car.
And the baby's face looked like a powdered donut, right? With all the Coke.
Yeah. Because Janetty knew that he couldn't drive. He was so fucking whacked. So obviously little baby Chucky here can drive. So yeah, no, it's going to be a fabulous film. Scorsese, please. Your people, my people, get together.
Rated R for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Well, gentlemen, we have completed the 3 count. Exciting 3 stories. We learned a lot today.
Did we though?
We did. We learned what success is. We learned what success isn't. And we'll just go from there.
We learned a lot about the minds of a 13-year-old child in a bad, precarious situation.
That's true.
How would you know this? Oh, that's right. You hang around with high school kids.
Man.
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh
The guy
man.
doesn't give context, and let me tell you, that story just keeps coming, but it's all good. It's all good.
Oh,
Oh man. You just gotta you know what? This time if I mute you, it's for your own good.
Yeah.
This
right.
time, yeah.
Yeah. You know, but before we mute you, let's give you your final thoughts. Let's keep it clean. Simon Street, go. What would you like to tell all the people out there?
I didn't do it.
Oh man.
No.
You're already denying it.
No. Real talk. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Thank you for some of the people today. When me and Impact were on the live chat for the app. If you haven't already and you're watching the show and you like what you see, download the app on Google Play, Apple Store.
Mhm.
And thank you for all the support. We really do appreciate it. Without all you guys, we wouldn't be able to keep this steam locomotive going.
Absolutely. All right, King Lucky. We're Smartville. What's going on, man?
thank you guys. Good night.
That bottle's already empty.
Oh my God.
Lucky's got his bottle of Jack Daniels. I love it.
Yeah, he is just.
Good night.
He's like you two, but you know he's got the drink instead of the edibles. Okay.
Who said
Since
there's no edibles?
so
I'm
there
not,
you go.
I'm not hiding. You're
We're
taking
looking for a sponsorship.
Um,
Jardine, you want to sponsor us?
Right?
Sin City, man, what you want to tell all these people out here?
I just want to say thank you to every single one of you guys that are liking, sharing, subscribing, and just checking out the show, interacting with us in the chat. We really do appreciate you guys. And, you know, it's fun what we do, but you guys are the reason why we do it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, just thank you for your loyalty. Shout out to the Storm and Mormon, who is now serving our country valiantly. One of our super fans. So,
Yep.
And obviously repsports.com, reppsports.com, promo code Vegas at checkout, save yourself 15%.
All right. Matt Michaels, man, what you want to tell these people?
If the rubber don't fit, you gotta quit.
You know what? That line worked. It worked. So you got to keep that in your arsenal, you know?
a right-sized rubber.
Okay, like I said, I was
All
gonna
right,
do-
good night.
Hashtag
Good.
right-sized rubber. There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening, and we will be back next week. And that's it. All right, we're out.